Well, hey, thanks so much. It's been an honor, truly, to get to know so many of you. I'm going second to last. The name and the words of Jesus reverberate in my brain for Matthew 20, verse 16, that says, the first shall be last. So sorry to the hustle, pray, eat guys. That's not good for you. But the second to last shall be first. And so if you're out there voting and you love Jesus, at least we get second, okay? So I'll just put that out there on the front end. My name is Vince Garvey, co-founder of Ambassadors Ministries, alongside Ryan Arneson and a guy named Jason Raber, who is in Phoenix and couldn't be with us today. Our story at Ambassadors is really the coming together of two separate stories. And so let me give you the background to how we got here. So in 2008, Ryan was living in Phoenix. He had some desires and callings from God to engage in evangelistic and discipleship endeavors in his community, predominantly at the college campus. He had people in his network that wanted to do the same, but they didn't have a way to access that vocationally. Traditional methods were not the route they wanted to go, so Ryan created Ambassadors Ministries so they could raise support from their networks to go do evangelistic work in their community. In 2012, 4 years later, I moved 2.5 hours north to a town called Flagstaff, Arizona, and planted a church there called Redemption. We grew really fast. In 18 months, we grew from a team of 9 to around 200 folks by the end of 14. Now, it's a great problem to have. The issue was 95% of our church was 18 to 23, meaning our budget was tiny, okay? Everybody knows what that means. So we had a problem. We needed to hire someone to minister and to mobilize and to equip the 200 people we had attending the church, and I couldn't do it all alone. So I reached out to Jason, fellow co-founder, and said, hey man, I need to hire a guy, and I need it right now. What can we do? And so we built Praxis Ministries as a third-party nonprofit that would train him, teach him, and provide the administrative backing for him to raise support to join my church staff at my church plant. We did it. He did it, it worked, and he came on staff at the end of 14. He is now the lead pastor of that church plant as we transitioned 2 years ago. In 2021, Ryan, myself, and Jason got together, and we realized maybe there's something here that could serve the church across the country and world beyond just our one church in Arizona. And so we went public. And we started taking this thing in a pretty slow rollout over the last 18 months to get in rooms like this, to talk to people like you that are doing innovative work in the church kingdom space, to partner with churches and church plants to say, what if we re-envisioned staffing and mission through a new lens of how we get people on the field? And this is where we enter into it. Now, post-COVID, the reality is this world has changed. There is a greater mistrust of organizations than ever before. And so people don't often want to give to an organization, but they will give to you because they know you and they trust the work that you're doing. And so we're seeing this new wave of finances flow through individuals into the work that they're doing. And we want to be part of that. Now, our process is pretty simple. We take leaders that churches, nonprofits, ministries that don't have that status, and individuals that have an evangelistic calling, we identify them, we raise them up, they come in an onboarding process where we get to know the churches, get to know the ministries, they get to know us, and we bring them in, we give them a fundraising coach, we give them all the necessary resources to help them thrive in that space, and then we leave the ministry oversight to the local level. So for all of you here that run churches or nonprofits, we would love to see your people equipped, raised up, fundraised, and working for your teams with your oversight. That's our goal. We had this great line from John yesterday during his intro where he was telling us about how, man, we see these new harvesting techniques in the room, and we love that. Our role in this is to help enable laborers to enter into the new harvesting techniques. We want to come alongside the church in this piece. Success for us looks like this. We want to see your people funded. If people want to work in mission for God, we want to see them funded in vocation and called and say yes to the ministries that they've been called to. So we get them raised up, we get them funded, and we get them sent back into the field. Success for us looks like churches re-envisioning what it could look like to stay in front of the proverbial staffing 8-ball, where they're not always hoping, man, can we bring someone on staff to serve the church and all the people we have here? What if we were on the front end of that instead of always having to be reactive? Success for us looks like the people of God being able to consistently say yes to the callings that God has given them. And I don't have to preach that any louder to people in this room, because that's what you're doing. At the end of the day, our hope is this, that we would see the church continually mobilized for mission, moving throughout the 21st century. God has raised up new ideas, new ventures, and we want to be part of doing that. We want to see churches have this vision where they can go to people in their communities. They can go to people in their campgrounds. They can go to people in their campuses and say, we have an option. We have a way to get people here that will love you and preach the gospel to you. And we'd love to partner with all of you as we do it. Thanks so much.